everyone, it's Taylor here, and I'm going to be creating this simple card that you can use for Father's Day or for the handyman or handy woman in your life to celebrate birthdays or even as a thank you. So let's get started with the supplies I'll be using on this project. I'm going to start off with the wood slice background, which is 6 inches in diameter and will cover the majority of your A2 card base. Then I have the plaid background stamp. And I'll be using the Tools of the Trade die set that features a wrench, a hammer, a screwdriver. You can put it all inside the Pocketful die, which includes a little label for the side of the pocket. I'll be using the Father's Day Favorites sentiment stamp to stamp Happy Father's Day on the outside of the pocket. The inks I'll be using are green tea, oat milk, and toffee. And then I'll be doing some embossing, so I have my Versamark ink pad along with my anti-static powder tool to condition the cardstock and fine detail white embossing powder. We're going to start off with the plaid background stamp, and I'm setting that up in my MISTI. I'm going to stamp it on 2 different colors of cardstock. I'm starting with just stamping a little bit across the top of my oat milk cardstock using oat milk ink. I'll die cut that with the pocket just across the top to create a 2-toned pocket. Now I have green tea ink on green tea cardstock that will be the majority of the color of my pocket. Now I'm setting up the wood slice on my MISTI, and I have my A2 cardstock that I'm aligning on top of the stamp and then picking up with my MISTI so that I know it's going to be in exactly the right spot. Now we've stamped that tone on tone again with toffee ink on toffee cardstock, and you can see the fun detail of that wood slice background. I'm going to cut the pocket twice, as I mentioned, once out of green tea and then again out of oat milk just to cover the top of that pocket. I'm also adding the label that I'm cutting out of oat milk cardstock. I'm going to trim across the top of the pocket, and we're just going to use that top piece and place it over the top part of the green tea pocket. And then we're going to take our tools and die cut those. I'm die cutting first out of oyster cardstock, which will kind of mimic the silver color of the tools. You could also cut this out of silver foil cardstock, which would be really fun as well. Now I have blue cheese and Brussels sprout cardstock along with blue corn that I'm cutting the rest of my pieces out for the tools. I'll just piece those together to get the 2-toned look on the tools, just easily using my liquid adhesive to place those separate die cut pieces over the top of the base for each of the tools. On the small little tab for the pocket, I'm going to use my graphite pen to write Dad, and you could personalize this with Mom or even Papa or other small words like that. Now we're going to emboss on top of the pocket design. So I have the Father's Day Favorites that I've stamped in Versamark and embossing that Happy Father's Day with white embossing powder, and using my mini mitts to make sure I don't burn my fingers while I'm holding onto that piece of cardstock. I grabbed an old brad from my collection, and I'm just going to push that through the little detail where the buttonhole is on the pocket and add that as an extra little touch. Now I'm arranging all of my pieces in the pocket, and then I'm going to hold those down and pick them up with Post-it removable labeling tape. I'm placing that tape only across the top of the tools so that I can add adhesive on the rest of my tools. I wanted one handle of the pliers to hang outside of the pocket, so I'm pulling that out from the back and letting it hang over the front of the pocket. Now I can place adhesive along the back to keep all of those in place. I'm using foam tape on the back of the pocket and on some of those tools to give it extra stability. I'll pop that up on top of the wood slice background that we stamped, and then I'm going to pop it up again onto a blue corn card base. So hopefully you enjoyed this quick tutorial and you can see yourself making these cards for any of the tool lovers in your life. If you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button, and you can find all of these products at the Tailored Expressions website at tailoredexpressions.com.